Welcome to Death Becomes Her, the mini-cast where we spend 5 to 10 minutes discussing death, dying, and grief from a variety of angles. I'm your host, LiElla Kelly. I have loved cemeteries for as long as I can remember. The first cemetery I ever visited was somewhere in the vicinity of Paradise, California. My great-grandfather took me there. What I remember the most are the little white graves with the sheep nestled on the tombstones. They were the graves of babies and children. From then on, I was hooked, completely fascinated by cemeteries. They're a treasure trove of history and family stories. As you explore, you'll see when illness swept a community or families that were struck by a tragedy that caused the deaths of multiple family members on the same day. You can see cultural communities that died far from the land of their birth. Cemeteries are full of stories that I find all so very interesting. I suppose the cemetery is where my interest in death took root, but it didn't stop there. Through the years, I've sought out information on mummies from around the world. I've visited catacombs and ossuaries. I always check out cemeteries when I have the chance to be in another country. And I have read a lot about mortuary procedures. Death and the dead do not freak me out. However, there was something that kept coming up in my own intimate personal experience with death that did make me uncomfortable. And it was the feeling that we could be doing death better. At times I have gone to viewings where my person was laid out in a casket and they looked waxy and unlike themselves. I've been to funerals that didn't reflect anything close to the personality of the person I've lost. And I also began to notice how unprepared people can be for death. Again, it was fascinating, but more than that, I realized that we should be doing better when it comes to death. With time, I learned that I wasn't the only one who felt that way. I wasn't alone. There are a whole group of deathy people like me out there. They are people who want to make death and dying better, and they are called end-of-life doulas or just death doulas. So now, that is what I am. I'm a death doula. I promote death education, end-of-life planning, autonomy in death care choices, all with the goal of empowering people to live well and die well. Last winter, I was invited to become a featured guest on a podcast called Sing With Your Feet. I will tell you more about that in episode 1. All you need to know for now is that opportunity that I was given by Sing With Your Feet host Lily Fields has given me the courage to start this mini-cast. And no, I do not even know if a mini-cast is a real thing, but it is what I am calling the 5 to 10 minutes that you and I have carved out to talk about death, dying, and grief. So let's get chatting. Join me in episode 1 of Death Becomes Her. Thank you for listening to the Death Becomes Her minicast. Connect with me, LiElla Kelly, at www.leavingwellmt.com. Special thanks to Roman Bilov for our intro and outro music. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, talking about death won't kill you. I promise.